The Bazaruto archipelago is a group of 5 islands near the southern coast of Mozambique. It is one of the world's richest and biodiverse ecosystems, hosting hundreds of species of fish, almost 200 types of birds, various sharks, killer whales, crocodiles, and much more. 50 years ago, it became a national park, spanning approximately 1,400 square kilometers, to protect the coral reefs and many endangered marine fauna, including whale sharks, turtles, mantas, humpback whales, and a population of about 120 dugongs. Welcome to Mozambique. It is here where I will be spending 3 weeks participating in voluntary work for African Impact. Benguela Island is about 55 square kilometers and contains around 1,500 inhabitants. These people live outside and sleep in tiny poor houses spread out across the island. They mostly depend on fishing as their source of income and food. Although investments are made to inspire tourism, only a handful of tourists have been spotted here thus far. In a way, such lack of tourists helps to preserve the natural reservoir in which Benguela Island is located. It is also home to the base of our organization, which has been built by natural materials to blend in with the surroundings. More so, it is powered by solar energy and has its own water purification system. The main staff sleeps in tents behind the dormitories. Outside there is a vegetable garden and paths that lead to other areas, such as where composting is done. The station itself has amazing views, with the ocean in the distance. It contains a conference room, relaxation room, and shared bathrooms. A dinner table outside where delicious food is being served by the kitchen staff. So now that you have been introduced to the station, you might wonder, what is it that we do here other than eat food? So let's take a look at the research. This is an introduction to the local marine and oceanographic research. In the lower hemisphere, somewhere around Madagascar, large eddies create a counterclockwise current moving from Tanzania to Mozambique in the south. Because of the direction of these enormous swirling currents, called eddies, deep sea water is forced upwards towards shallower waters. These eddies are not constant, but occur multiple times a year for a certain period. The station theorizes that this phenomena is the cause for sustainability and thriving ecosystems in the coral reefs of the Bazaruto archipelago. This is because at a few kilometers away from these shallow regions, there is a steep descent towards a much deeper part of the ocean. The deep sea water is more nutritious, cooler in terms of temperature, and has a higher percentage of dissolved carbon dioxide with respect to the water at higher levels. The eddies carry this deep sea water towards the reefs, cooling them down and feeding their ecosystems with fresh nutrients. This locally minimizes the effects of global warming and climate change, which would otherwise damage those ecosystems to a greater extent. The scientists want to prove this theory by taking large numbers of samples at many locations and varying depths over time throughout the ocean. This to detect changes in local currents, chemical compositions of the water, nutrient contents, and temperatures, among other things. Next to that, the well-being of the nearby ocean's ecosystems is being monitored over time by identifying and counting certain species of marine life, their behavior and swimming direction. As volunteers, we participate in taking these measurements by diving or doing so from the boat. With the collected data, the lead scientists hope to prove the correlation between marine well-being and the eddies. Their research gives us a better understanding of how climate changes affect the ocean and allows us to make more accurate forecasts for the stability of the reefs. This is crucial because the majority of Mozambique's coastal inhabitants depend on fishing as their source of income and food. If the ecosystems destabilize, certain marine species will decline in magnitude or disappear entirely, which ultimately leads to less fish on the table and potentially human starvation. Besides, the beauty of this underwater paradise will fade as the coral bleaches and species go extinct. Carbon dioxide emissions will once again increase. Knowing this information, it became clear to me why volunteers are most welcome. Upon my arrival in Vilanculos, I was blown away by its beauty. No tall buildings, no endless cars, no asphalt roads even. Instead, it was very quiet and calm. Most roads are made of sand. They led me to the so-called port, which was just a beach where I stepped on one of the boats that would bring me to Kisawa, the most southern point of Benguera Island. From there, I joined a very bumpy ride across the island. And then I eventually arrived at BCSS, the research station. Every Wednesday we went out to clean part of the nearby beaches from plastic waste. We collected only the large pieces, which added up to 66 kilograms. Although we sorted the waste for recycling, more plastic keeps floating ashore, making this an endless cycle. One of the most exciting places on the island itself were probably the crocodile lakes. We joined reptile experts on their quests to find the African crocodiles known for their aggressive nature. Little did we know about the risks when taking selfies before at close proximity. While underwater, we often heard the humpback whales singing from afar. Just listen.
Que te va a morder, coño. No, se cansó. ¡Epa! ¡La madre, señor! Se está cagando, ¿eh? No huele.
Tengo miedo.
No, tranquila. Se acabó, ya no hace nada.
it or not, this video only shows a small fraction of everything that is to be discovered in the Bazaruto archipelago. It solely covers my personal and limited experiences. For example, there are many sharks, manta rays, dugongs, and lots of other unique creatures out there that I personally did not encounter and thus left out of this video. The same counts for the research, which goes much broader and deeper than discussed. Think of 3D mapping the seabed, studying whales' communicational behaviors, sampling and laboratory analysis of marine species DNA, satellite ocean surface measurements, etc. I hope this video gave a decent indication of the beauty of the Bazaruto archipelago. Yet experiencing this place by yourself through your own eyes outcompetes any footages made. For me, that goal has been achieved. So now, as I stare across the horizon, I wonder what my next adventure will be.